Hello everybody, today I want to talk to you about my casual pingers deck. So as you can see, it is a mono blue deck with some artifacts, and by popular request from now on there has been a kind of an upgrade to this deck series, because at the end of the video you're going to see some gameplay against AI in the Forge app, but nonetheless. And also you will be able to watch the gameplay if you check my past live stream, because I did play this deck both on webcam against the friend of the channel Rob, but also I played it on Forge as well, but these were different matches than the ones you will see here. Before we go to the video itself, I have an important announcement to make. We finally have our very first patron. This is Cam. Thank you so much, Cam, for supporting the channel, being a long-time friend of the channel. So current goal is to get to 10 patrons before the 1st of October, and this is the road from Camel to Leviathan, because, you know, they have 0 and 10 power respectively. So current rank is 1 Squire, because he has 1 power. But jokes aside, please do check out my Patreon, and I appreciate the support of everybody, and this will help me to make more regular videos and spend more time and trying to improve the quality. Thank you so much. Okay, so getting back to the deck. As you can see, it is a casual deck. It's not very powerful, of course, but there is also no sideboard, obviously. And of course, starting with the mana base, we have got a lot of islands, but we also want to have some kind of mana acceleration, so that's why we've got those rocks, Felber stones. And since we usually expect our opponent to be aggressive earlier, then we can deploy our pingers and start shooting the creatures. We have got mazes of it. In this case, 3 mazes might be enough, I believe. Then we have got those direct damage spells. So Psychic Purge is a very unique spell, as you know. It's only 1 damage, and it's a sorcery. Nevertheless, it can be useful for killing your opponent's birds, for example, or pump knights. So that's more or less viable. And of course, we can sometimes hope that our opponent casts Mind Twist or some other discard spell against us, and we will be able to activate Psychic Purge. I personally have activated it against him to Torek, but also against Disrupting Scepter. So yes, it does work. Quite interestingly enough, it seems that usually when your opponent is forcing you to discard cards, and they are quite active in that, those 5 points of damage will not be highly relevant, so they will not win you the game usually, but still, this is just something to fill the deck. And next we have got Pirate Ship. So Pirate Ship, I talked about this card in my recent Island Homies deck. Creatures with Island Home that cannot attack unless your opponent controls an island. And Pirate Ship is of course a little bit overcosted. Also, it is not bolt proof, which is quite sad. And for 5 mana to have this pinger, it's not ideal, but of course it does help you to have more pingers than just the Timmy. So Timmy, of course, is the standard card for pingers, obviously. Quite a good deal. 3 mana, 1 damage to any target. And this is the marvelous altar that Thomas the Sorcerer, Timmy himself, sent me as a gift. And that's a nice card for sure. Next, a much less common occurrence is this Psionic Entity card. So Psionic Entity is really weird. If we look at it, it says it deals 2 damage to target creature or player and 3 damage to itself. So, you know, when I first saw this card, I didn't read it properly. I thought that it would do 3 damage to you. You know, just like Orcish Artillery, it was not uncommon to have such effects, but then we see that it actually kills itself. So this card by itself looks like it's quite useless, because it will automatically kill itself, and as a result you will only be able to deal 2 damage, and also with the, you know, Summoning Sickness, so it's pretty bad, right? what did they expect you to do with this card? That's quite interesting. So even the castle wouldn't work here. You know, there are some cards, for instance, there is Cry Shield. It wouldn't work either because this card wouldn't be able to deal damage. So your options are actually quite limited. And I don't know, maybe 2 copies of Sunken City, or maybe Holy Strength. Quite limited, right? But nevertheless, here I found quite an interesting thing, which I will tell you about in a second. So one more thing we have got here is, but let's not talk about it now. Let's first talk about the pingers again. So there is Trike. Trike is amazing. I don't need to advertise it to you. I have played it in so many different decks. It just fits so well in many different archetypes, be it control or mid-range or something else. And of course there are some nice combos with that. And here, since it's basically the best pinger in this deck still, of course it's necessary to have it. So yes, talking about direct damage even further, we have got one of the few cards that we actually see in the tournament scene, and this is Psyblast. A very good deal, you know, 4 damage, but 2 damage to you as well. It's great to finish your opponent. It's great to deal with some early Serra Angels and Gear Vampires and so on. So it's amazing, and for a very long time it was considered to be a very, very good and powerful spell. And we had a symmetric effect in Ravnica in red. Char, I think, was the name of that particular card. And, you know, it was still a kind of a chase rare. So no wonder it is a great card. Also re-released in Time Spiral as one of those quite popular cards as well. Next thing, we have got this marvelous Chris Rush Road of Ruin. I've told this story several times on my channel, but in case you haven't heard it, I ordered this card, I think in 2018, and I just ordered it as a damaged card, and it was, again, the usual 20 cent, I think, and it came with this signature, because apparently the owner didn't really want it and just sold it as a bulk card. But you know that Chris Rush's signature is highly valuable, and I asked some people around in the signature group and they actually confirmed that it is authentic. Of course, I'm not selling it. I wouldn't trade it, I don't know, for even an alpha. Maybe that's a stretch, but I still would prefer to have this particular card with a signature by Chris Rush. And yes, again, Rod of Ruin, only 1 copy. It's quite expensive, you know, 3 mana to activate, but the bonus is that it's not a creature, and it can work quite well. Next, we've got Rocket Launcher. So Rocket Launcher is that goofy card. Of course, it will get destroyed at the end of the turn, but if you have got plenty of mana, then probably it would act as a nice finisher or even creature removal if it's necessary. And then if you talk about utility cards, so this is where this transmute artifact comes in. So we can easily transmute our Felber Stone, for example, into Trike, as it will very often be the case, or maybe if we want to into Gem the Tome or any of these 2 pinger direct damage artifacts. And one more thing we can do is this card, which you don't see every day. This is those Saddlebags, and costs 2 mana, but 3 mana to activate. Always confusing. I wish it was the other way around, but it is what it is. So you can untap a creature. So what exactly can it do? Obviously, it can untap your, for example, pinger. And this actually changes quite a lot, because for extra mana you will be able to deal more damage to your opponent every turn, or, which might even be more relevant, kill a bigger creature than you normally would be able to. And the best part of it is this particular combo. So how would it work? First of all, you will shoot for 2, and then in response to that you will activate the Saddlebags and tap this entity and shoot once again. And what if you have 2 Saddlebags? Then you will be able to shoot for 6. Then of course this card dies, but it definitely has already played its important role by then. And one last thing I would like to discuss here is Creature Bond. So Creature Bond is a card that again is hugely unpopular. That's a shame because the art is absolutely beautiful here, as we can see. And the idea is that it just deals extra damage for only 2 mana. And if you're able to activate some of your pingers and kill a big creature your opponent has, then it will do some extra damage to the opponent. So this is this casual deck can be improved in many ways, at least by adding red, obviously, and I would like to revisit this probably in the future. So let me know what you think about it, whether you have attempted to make a Pingers deck. Of course, there are some disadvantages, and the biggest of them, of course, is that it doesn't work well against non-creature decks, because many of the cards would be simply dead against it, and the cards that we have here are not highly mana efficient, but it is what it is. Now let's go to the Forge games and see how this deck actually performs. So the first game I'm going to be playing will be against the deck that is called Mark's Little Deck. It is an iconic deck by Mark Rosewater. There are a lot of small creatures, and it can be a little bit tough to decide whether we should keep the one lander or not. But let's keep fingers crossed, and let's see what our opponent has. Flying Man turn 1, and yeah, it was a bad decision. So I will probably be punished for that. Unstable Mutation on Flying Man. And swinging for 3, and I mean for 4, 3 extra. So here's Felver Stone. So I hope that he's gonna run out of fuel quite soon, but maybe not. Let's see. So there is one more Felver Stone, and the Flying Men are getting smaller and smaller. Currently attacking for 2. And here we can actually play something, but is it worth it? That's a good question. So I would gladly actually get a Triskelion here, but okay, Transmute Artifact is nice, but I cannot do anything about its use. Cannot really do anything. Okay, that's not nice at all. Right, so here's my hope. It's quite funny, because I will cast a really... Okay, which mana to produce, it doesn't matter, really. And, okay. So, Psionic Entity. Psionic Entity will just be our blocker. And in this case, it'll be a chum blocker, I think. So, this is declared blocker's step. Quite bad overall. And let's see... Okay, Giant Growth. At least we made him waste Giant Growth. And then we will play Prodigal Sorcerer. So, Timmy in the house. And... Okay, Birds of Paradise attacking. And this guy also attacking. This is quite sad. Only 1 point of damage that is needed to be dealt to me, and I'm done for. So yeah, this is the basic case. But look, he actually didn't attack. I wonder why, because I think he could have attacked with 2 Mishras, and okay, that's a little bit weird, but fine. I think this definitely plays to our advantage. So what can we do? We actually need 1 more to go crazy with Trike, and maybe we can try and kill the bird. Why the bird? Because actually the bird will let us... I mean, the bird would actually be the card that we're afraid of. We have 1 mana floating. Yes, I do. And okay, maybe I can do something else. Okay, I can cast this just to demonstrate how it works. Okay, so there's a creature bond. Right, so not gonna attack. Okay, so let's kill the elves. And let's also kill pixies. And here comes the Trike. So You see, I actually played very badly, but still the AI plays even worse. And okay, of course he's going to have some kind of a trick. No? Okay, no trick. That's weird. I don't know. The personality is really weird. The AI personality. And okay, let's cast one more Trike. You know, it's a bit not very stylish actually to use a Trike in such a deck. And here even, you know, Pirate Ship works quite well. Why? Because we can attack actually, because there is an island, tropical island in this case. So you want to trade. Okay, let's see, declare blockers. Before combat damage, I think I would just kill Mishra. 1, 2, okay, pump. All right, and okay, one more pump, but for that we've got Timmy. So still, we're slowly destroying everything. And okay, Psionic Entity. No, wait, what do we want to do? I think a very good idea would be to exchange the old Trike for the new one. Just for free, you know. Very nice post-sale service here. And I will attack with a glorious pirate ship and even with one more Trike, I think, why not? And the opponent is forced to block, again, probably hoping to kill my pirate ship, but here I think we have a more optimal solution. So we can shoot with Timmy once, then we use the glorious Saddlebags to just show how they work, and attacking, I mean pinging for the second time, and that's fine. One more can be had from the Trike. And still, the Mishra was just a chump blocker, and he cast Regrowth, so I was really scared that he would have some kind of an aerial attack with Giant Growth, but, you know, with Trike even that could be solved easily. So let's play Psionic Entity and one more Saddlebags, because next time we will actually show how amazingly well Saddlebags work with Psionic Entity, because yes, it does deal 3 damage to itself, as I said, but if we untap it, we will essentially be able to deal 6 damage. So we will untap it twice with the Saddlebags. That will cost us, of course, 6 mana, but I think it's such a spicy thing to do. And our opponent is casting Giant Growth on the birds, which I obviously do not want, and simply ping it. And you know, it's weird that he cast it before declaring attacker. So yeah, again, as I said, there is such a thing as personality, AI personality, and I think some of them are more aggressive, some of them are smart, and I don't know, have to look at the source code, or maybe it's documented, I don't know really. So, in any way, what would be a flavor win here? I think the flavor win will be to use specifically this Psionic Entity. So then we will untap it. So again, it still hasn't dealt damage to itself. I think this is how it's supposed to work. Doesn't it? Okay. And untap like this. And untap like this. Okay, so all the triggers are here. And yes, it all resolves. It all resolves. And okay, maybe I miscalculated something here, because for some reason we dealt only 2 damage. I mean, 2 times 2. But okay, nevertheless, that's enough. So of course, if you're using a Pingers deck, it would be a shame to win just by attacking. And here we are. We won the game. And I'm not going to show this massacre of Mark's little deck. So yes, let's see how well it performs against an almost creatureless deck, which is the deck by Weissman. And the deck is probably going to be quite difficult to play against. I once played against it on Forge, and maybe I was lucky, but I won, I think, one game, not the whole match. Okay, we just had a time twister, and this hand is probably even better. Don't really need Maze of Ith now, but actually in this particular version of the deck there is Sir Angel, and just like that our Timmy got sorted. So, and this one is countered, and okay, Legends Ring would be nice. Need one more mana, and here is mana drain. One more mana for Pirate Ship. Okay, so let's just hope that this one actually lives. And I think that our opponent was a bit too fast, spending all of the resources on countering and destroying the smaller creatures. But maybe a Wrath of God is coming, we'll see. So here's Rod of Ruin. And Rod of Ruin got mana drain. So yes, in this particular, as you will see, variation of the deck, there is unrestricted mana drain. So mana drain was actually unrestricted at some point in time, and we're still able to double attack, and it was maybe just lucky. And here is the third deck I decided to try. This is actually one of the players' deck that was played in Winter Derby. This was an internal central rules tournament, so I think it's going to be quite difficult, and our opponent mulliganed to 7, so let's see how this actually works. And this deck is quite powerful. It finished in top 16, so I have my doubts that I will be able to do anything. And here is the ATOG. Okay, maybe this was a bit too fast. Should I 2-for-1 the ATOG? I think this might be a waste of resources, but maybe it's worth it. Okay, so Black Vice for me, not that terrible actually. And okay, for 3 mana, can't really play anything. I will just play the bags. And the opponent is killing us with Mishra. And okay, here is my maze. Maybe it's time to Psyblast the Mishra. Okay, let's do that. Wheel of Fortune. Oh no, Ankh. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's really painful. Alright. I think this is a lock that I cannot do much against, because Ankh and Black Vice together just work so well. And okay, I will play my Pinger. It will still leave me with several cards. And here's a Lotus, Demonic Tutor, and here is a Shivan. Actually, we can live with Shivan for now, so it's not such a terrible thing, but we're currently at 1 mana, and our opponent has red, so I don't think it's going to work very well, I will be honest with you. And okay, untap the Shivan. We're still alive, but here comes the second Ankh, and I'm at 1 life, and can I do anything? So now it's just a matter of survival, I think. But let's see, maybe our opponent is really stupid and will block with Shivan. Yes, he will block with Shivan, alright. Yeah. So this is his demise, actually. I will gladly trade my pirate ship for Shivan. And yeah, you can fire breathe him as much as you want, but it's still only 5 toughness. Okay, now he's just being silly. So, yeah, nothing I can do against that. Still, I killed the Shivan. So, there it is. There it is.